If your garden has ever struggled to produce the way you hoped, or you just are getting started and want it to be right the first time, you may be wondering where your raised bed should actually go. You know, it's easy to think the first step is choosing the materials or deciding what plants, but before we build anything, before we fill a single bed with soil, the location of your garden will determine how much food it can actually produce. So we've all been taught to focus on what to plant, and many of us started by choosing vegetables, buying soil, and building beds, and hoping that if we just followed those steps, the garden would grow well. And when it doesn't, it can feel confusing because we're doing the work but not always seeing the results. But here's what most people don't realize. The real issue often isn't what you plant or even how you build the beds, it's where the garden is placed. So we've discovered here on the farm, after building gardens in many different locations over the years, that it is the placement changes everything. Some gardens we placed carefully and they thrived with very little effort. Others we placed where it was just convenient at the time, and no matter what we did, they never quite produced the same way. Over time, we noticed that when the location was right, the garden began to work with us instead of against us. So what we want to do is choose a location that supports the garden naturally. So there are 5 simple things that we look for when choosing where to place a raised bed, and these will guide you to a space where your garden can really thrive. All right, first is sunlight. Most vegetables need full sun to grow well, which means about 8 to 10 hours of direct sunlight each day. And without enough light, plants will still grow, but they won't produce the same way. They stretch, they'll slow down, and the harvest becomes smaller. So take a little time to watch how the sun moves across your space and then notice which areas stay bright the longest. So the second is what might block the light. Are there large trees nearby? Are there buildings or structures that will cast shadows as the season goes on? You know, trees will leaf out, shadows will shift, and what looks sunny today may not stay that way. So we want to think ahead so that the garden keeps getting the light that it needs. The third is proximity to your home. So a garden that is close to your house is a garden that gets cared for. You naturally step into it more often, and you notice things earlier, and you harvest it more regularly. It becomes part of your daily life instead of something that you have to go check on. So fourth is access to water. So raised beds dry out differently than in-ground gardens, and having water nearby makes everything easier. So the easier it is to water, the more consistent your garden will be. So the fifth is the ground itself. We want a space that is relatively level and drains well. Level ground makes building your beds easier and helps the water move evenly through the soil, while good drainage keeps the roots healthy and prevents problems before they start. So this is where everything begins. Once the location is right, the rest of the system starts to fall into place. So in the next video, we're going to look at the materials we use to build raised beds and what actually is safe for growing food, so you can build with confidence and know that your garden is truly chemical-free. And if you'd like to go deeper and learn the full system we use, how to grow more food with less work, you can download our free guide, Grow More Food with Less Work, the 8-Step Abundance Garden System. The link is in the description.